What's up, fellas? It's your boy Wings of Redemption, and I'm back bringing you a free-for-all here with a KSG. Not the greatest of gameplays, I'm apologizing for that to begin with, but haven't really been playing a whole lot of Call of Duty, don't really have too much gameplay to pick from. Well, what have I been doing? Well, I've been kind of on a hiatus. Every time I've been sitting out, I've been having a horrible case of writer's block for the last 2 months. So my videos have been few and far between. They've been lackluster, and they haven't even been living up to my standards. My standard has grown recently, grown a lot. Used to be, I'd put up anything, I'd put it up at 3 meg, and you know, pretty much it was just talking. And lately, I've been worried more and more about how entertaining a video is, how much audience retention, and so on and so forth. So every time I get to the point where I have, like this writer's block, I go out and I walk. I've become addicted to walking. Like every time I even remotely stress about something, it's like, fuck it, let's go for a walk. I mean, I just enjoy the time alone, to be perfectly honest. It's almost like driving. It's the same reason I actually enjoy driving. That period of time where you're by yourself and all you have to do is think. I mean, you can't, I'm about myself a lot, but usually I have a lot of things to keep my mind active. And I really like that part of it. But as you can tell, I've lost an inch. Well, you can't tell yet, but I can tell you I've lost an inch on my waist. And the reason I know I could lost an inch on my waist is beforehand my stomach used to actually touch the steering wheel of my truck. Now my stomach doesn't touch the steering wheel of my truck. Matter of fact, here's a picture. Look at this one. Yeah, that makes me feel tremendously good. I'm still not back to the point where I was the happiest at in my weight loss journey. The happiest I when in my weight loss journey was actually before I bought my white F-150 back in the day, and that I was down to 386 pounds, and all my clothes fit good. All my pants required me to wear suspenders. I'm still not back to the suspender level, hoping to get there. But I think I blew my left leg out. I didn't blow it out, but I think the muscle was really tired. I went walking yesterday and I could make it out halfway. And what happened is, like, the left calf muscle almost feels like it's sprained, like it was starting to shake and stuff like that. And so I'm pretty much going to take today off from walking. I need to get into a gym. I do. I really need to get into like a gym membership. And I need a better camera. I've been wanting to do a lot of in real life stuff, but I really have really crappy cameras set up, and I have really crappy microphones set up. And this is like me wanting to be better and better and better and better. I mean, dude, lapel mics cost so much money. They do. A good lapel mic, a wireless one, is going to cost you somewhere around $400 per mic. That's with the receiver, a lapel mic, and you have to set it up. You have to plug it in. So you have to be in an area where it actually has a plug-in. I mean, I wish there was cheaper ways. I look at these other TV shows on YouTube, like Fast Lane Daily and stuff like that, and I see they have these lapel mics that I want, and I'm like, how the fuck does this small channel afford this mic? I mean, I guess they have a website or something that are generating a lot more revenue than I do, but like, man, these mics are so expensive. I mean, I've sitting here bitched a minute how expensive these mics are, mainly because it's like, I want them, I can afford them, but I don't know if it's smart fiscally to buy them. Like, one of the cameras I've been wanting recently was the Canon Rebel Ti3. I currently have the Rebel T1i. I mean, the numbers and letters might be messed up in sequence, but I have that camera, and it's good. It takes really good pictures. The picture I just showed you, actually, I took with a Canon. I mean, almost all my Craigslist ads are took with that camera. It's a fantastic camera for taking pictures. I'm sure there's better cameras out there, but it does the job really well. But for video recording, it really sucks. I mean, for like audio recording with like you across the room, it sucks. I mean, only thing the T3i, I think that's what it is going to give me that the Canon Rebel T1i doesn't, is the picture. Like, I really want the picture, like where I can flip the camera around, be in front of the camera, and actually see what the camera is showing on its screen without being behind the camera. Because one of the really bad downsides of YouTube is, if you're like me or a lot of people, You have to be the cameraman, the actor, the writer, the director, everything of your little movie. And it gets hard. It's hard to like set the camera up to a shot, go in front of it, act like you're going to want to act, and just be good. And if you rely on somebody else, you can do a whole thing and be like, yeah, be excited about it, and then all of a sudden it comes out like dog poop. I mean, seriously. I've had people have the shutter closed. Like the actual thing that goes in front of the camera. I've had that people have that closed. I've had people have, you know, the lighting wrong. I've had people have the white balance wrong. I've had people, you know, just have no ability whatsoever to hold the camera. Like I will be somewhere on the left side of the screen while they're over here looking at a bird or some crap. I mean, anybody that's ever had somebody hold a camera that pretty much just standing in, you know what I'm feeling like. I mean, when you're behind the camera, you know what you want to get, and it's hard to convey that to other people. That's the reason I want to get the Rebel TI3, but I don't feel like it's the best camera either. What would be the best, most cheap way to get 1080p, high quality video with good audio? Anybody, any camera experts out there that can help me out with that? Because I'm looking for that, and I want to be able to do it and be mobile. That's why I've been using my iPhone a lot, because I can just hold it out in front of me. But the iPhone, it kind of sucks unless you're at like 12, 1 o'clock, middle of the day, out in the bright sunlight with no clouds. That's when iPhone catches really good quality picture. But it's been your boy, Wings of Redemption. It's been a while since I talked to you guys. This is just a really free-for-all with the KSG. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Fallout will be continuing, but I might continue it on War God YouTube. So I'll probably be uploading the Fallout games here on the tonight on War God YouTube, and just continue the series over there. It's in the description below. Check it out. If you need a subscription, you can partner through me. It's also in the description. Peace, people. Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Wings of Redemption. I'm back bringing you another great gameplay here. This is this is a failed nuke run. I think I downed a 24 gun streak. So you go ahead and sit back and enjoy that. I basically used the SMR. I got the full auto on the EOTech sight on it. And the reason I'm using the EOTech sight is basically because people don't want me to use the target finder. EOTech sight's the next best sight next to the target finder in my book, mainly because it actually reduces recoil on your weapon. So if you have a choice between EOTech and Red Dot gives you a little bit more peripheral. EOTech lowers your recoil just a little bit. And weapons like the SMR, anything that reduces your recoil, is a good thing. At least it is in my book, personally. So let's go ahead and get into this. When you're playing Hardpoint on Raid, and you have a competent team, it's very easy to win Raid. Mainly because a lot of people like to hang out in the sniper buildings. A lot of people like to basically hang out in the sniper windows. And not too many people going for hard points once you actually learn the base spawns itself. The base spawns is in front of the sniper building on Rock Garden. You have one back here in the gym. You have one in the basketball court. And one right there next to poolside. And you have one behind the sniper building as well. You don't get too many spawns other than the one in front of the sniper building in the Rock Garden itself. And they kind of flip back and forth to that. So if you just sit here and control this area, you can control zigzag. You can control the gym, and if you have recons and UAVs and stuff going up, it's a very easy time to pretty much go on a streak right here on any kind of game mode. I wouldn't recommend using this house on domination, because if you're going for like a A-B split and you're capping on C, people are going to flip once you're in this house. Notice right there that pre-fire I put down on that guy. That's one thing I like about the SMR is that pre-fire. Oh my lord! Somebody gave me a shotgun. The easiest gun in the damn game. Give me some Remington. Man, God, I hate the Remington. I think my boy Thunder said it best. This game punishes rushers. It does. It punishes rushers so badly. This game, the maps are designed around rushing, but then they turn around and punish the shit out of rushers with the Remington 870. If you're not getting dogged by a camper with a target finder LMG, you're going to get dogged by a guy with an 870. So rushing around, you're at a huge disadvantage if you do that. Mainly because if you meet an 870 on the corner, we all know what's going to happen when you meet the 870 on the corner. You're gonna put 3-4 bullets into him. He's gonna turn around, laugh at you, and shoot you once in the kidney, and you're gonna go down like a sack of bricks. That's how the game's designed. I mean, that's just perfectly honest. And it sucks it's designed that way. But if they're on the ground, I'm gonna use what I have to my advantage. This guy, I keep getting this backfire metal on him. God, I love counter UAV. I knew when the game came out that counter UAV was going to be one of the biggest, you know, table turners in Call of Duty history. And that was back in Modern Warfare 2. I actually said that in a video where the M4, and I was running UAV, counter UAV, and chopper gunner, and I was getting the chopper gunner consistently. Counter UAV is so strong. And you know why is it so strong? You're denying information. I really like this setup too because it kind of makes the game a little bit more fun when you're actually just going for the nuke medals. And like, the recon kill streaks do that really well because you're never running a dragon fire, you're never running a stealth chopper. You're just constantly having people flow into you. And once you get a Blackbird, Blackbirds kind of stack on top of each other. I mean, I seen El Prestador just today sitting there commenting and crying about the orbital VSAT itself. I mean, like, why would you cry about the orbital VSAT, dude? I mean, the orbital VSAT is what makes this game playable in my book. I mean, I love the orbital VSAT. Do I think it should be in Call of Duty? No. I mean, I said that in Black Ops 1. I mean, the orbital VSAT is so strong that if they put it in the game, it should be where the swarm is at. It dead seriously. Stuff like dogs should be like 1200, and the orbital VSAT should be where dogs or the swarm is at, because that's where the meat and potato of the kill streaks deserve to be. And if it was where swarm is at, I'd still run it. It's that damn good. I mean, but I'm sitting here preaching to the choir how good Blackbird is, and that's kind of stupid and lame. But normally, I mean, it's 6 months in. I mean, we ran out of shit to talk about on Black Ops 2. I mean, the new map pack ain't gonna be out for another month. PlayStation's got to wait another 2 months for a new map pack. They're probably sick of hearing the map pack by the time they actually get their map pack, which kind of sucks for PlayStation. Usually, like a Battlefield or something drops right here, and this year we got nothing, dude. We got Gears Judgment, and like people are saying they're taking that shit back with the first day. I see my buddy Tony 2.0 said, "Got $10 for my Gears thing." I mean, Tony's the kind of guy that will sell it for $10 just to so he won't have to give GameStop money. But man, what games are you guys playing? I mean, there has to be something cool out there. I've been wanting to play some more Wasteland. I gotta get my boy Lefty on. But, as always, thank you for leaving a like rating. It helps me out tremendously. Thank you for checking my videos out. As always, it's been your boy, Wings of Redemption. I'm about to get a very, very big sad face here. Because, you know what it is, dude. You know what it is. Take a guess what takes me off my streak. Take a guess. You're going to say 870, but nope. It's not the 870. What's the next guess? What's that? What's that? Sniper? Yes. Fuck him. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Wings of Redemption, and I'm back bringing you another audio gameplay, or audio commentary. I mean, people love the sound of that. And if you're looking for a lot of objective playing, this is not going to be the gameplay for you, but this gameplay is brought to you in part by Demnoid. D-E-M-N-O-D-E. He is one that was teach us how to put the master of the art of foot in the ass. So I decided to go ahead and show him what foot in the ass actually felt like. And as always, I'm rocking that smooth purple leopard and zebra stripe camo. That's known as Rock Steady. And we're going to go ahead and do this. I felt like jumping on and playing some Call of Duty today. So I hopped on and played some Call of Duty. And I was using my favorite gun on the game, which is the SMR. I'm trying my hardest to get the SMR to my #1 weapons. So I tried to decide something a little different. Like me, I don't always use the best of the best. Like people were asking me, like, why are you using the SMR instead of the FAL? Well, one, the SMR actually looks like a futuristic weapon. One of the big problems I had with Black Ops is it didn't look futuristic. I mean, it was ridiculous how crappy the game looked. I'm like, oh, the FAL? They had this in Black Ops. How the fuck is the FAL something new and futuristic? I mean, most of the guns in the game actually exist in real life. I mean, 90% of them actually exist in real life. And they have some little variations. Yes, there's a couple things like the target finder and the millimeter scanner that is unique to being futuristic. But what the hell am I doing? I'm sitting here complaining about the game not being futuristic 6 months after it's been out. We're pushing the 7th month already. I mean, it is what it is. Black Ops was not as futuristic as I was hoping it'd be. And I really think they dropped the ball on that. Is the game going to continue going futuristic? Maybe. Who knows? I mean, who really cares? SMR, I like it better than FL because I like the way it looks. And that's pretty much it. I'm using the select fire. I'm using the holographic, which basically takes 1% of your recoil down, which I think is the same as the target finder. So you pretty much get the same recoil with the EOTech as you would like a target finder. And main reason I'm not using the target finder is because people hate on videos with the target finder in it. It's not because I don't like using it. It's because when you're trying for YouTube gameplay, you gotta use YouTube standards. You know, whatever. Crybabies. But there's also a crybaby in this lobby, and he gets a big old taste of the dick. I don't think I'm on it just yet, but I do end up going on. Man, I was damn near on a nuke. The only reason I was not on the nuke was because somebody on my team actually started jumping on the flag. I'm like, come on guys, get off the hardpoint. Let me go and get this nuke. And this guy just stood right on it. Under contrary belief, I don't always play with beast teams. I do play with Twitter people. And Twitter people, they're give and take sometimes. Just because you see me rolling with a full party Twitter doesn't mean there's no randoms in there. And I'm not gonna call them out, but 2 or 3 of the guys on this team had less than 1 KD. 2 of the guys on this team had less than 0.5 KD. So you can pretty much spot them out, but you know, just because you pull people from Twitter doesn't mean you're gonna be pulling beast people. So it was okay. It was really good fun. I had a couple really good guys though. I had Evan and I had Hoodie. Both of them really stood up. And Evan, he did really well. He did exceptionally well on every game, and he was running on like an English connection. So you know how much of a pain in the ass that is. That's like almost playing at Stan's house. FBS Hillbilly for the win. But using the standard recon setup, I mean, I almost feel cheap that I pretty much ask everybody to run recon, but I don't run any kill streaks either. I just find the games tend to flow better when you don't have anybody running killing kill streaks. But this is a little touch-up video. It went 36-5. I was on a 28 gun streak right there toward the end. I figured I'd share it just so I could rub it in that one dude's face that he got smashed. Get smashed, hater. Well, hello everybody. It's your boy Wings of Redemption, and we're down with our homie Samal.
What up? What's up?
What up, players?
What up, everybody?
Everybody. And
everybody.
This is Netflix Gold. This was a series that we do every week on Wednesday. Well, we do it on Wednesdays. It comes up on Thursdays. And we basically find 2 movies on Netflix with a theme. And we basically watch them, tell them to you, and hopefully you find them.
Recommend them.
Recommend them. The census of this is movies that we like that are currently streaming on Netflix.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Trying to give you the best of the bunch there, just because Netflix, you know, doesn't have the cream of the crop, but still, you can get a gem out of there every once in a while.
Pick 2 movies. We kind of stick with the same theory: 1 high budget, 1 low budget, and one of them's a classic this week.
Yeah, you want to save that one for maybe the after, so we can get the first one out of the way.
Yeah, let's get the high budget one out of the way. This is one that most people have probably seen. It's always a Netflix favorite, at least on my list. It is.
Yeah.
Lockout.
I want to see someone
Yes.
make a video of like
Who's
Guy
the actor
Pearce,
in Lockout?
2000. Guy Pearce. I'm a fan of Guy Pearce, man. He's the man, dude. He's a character actor, and I'm a fan of this. Wasn't really his, you know, one that he's probably too proud of, but I think it's still a good movie for him. You know, he plays the role really well.
You know what's kind of funny that we're talking about Guy Pearce,
What's that?
and we were just talking about Prometheus.
Yeah, exactly. See, he plays, you know, an array of characters, whether it be an old man in Prometheus or a young, well-to-do, or what, military, ex-military.
He didn't play an old man in Prometheus. He played Peter Whalen, from Whalen Industries.
The old guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, he played the really old dude in Prometheus.
Yeah, Whalen. But for Lockout, though, he's played, again, a lot of different characters. I think that's why I like him so much. It's just because, you know, a character actor can't be pinpointed into one typecasted person. He can be intense, too. And that's what I think I liked about him in this one. Military guy in Lockout. What's his space, sci-fi, kind of action-y thing. The movie doesn't really, it's not serious, you know, so don't think that it's going to be, you know, Oscar
It's a
award-winning.
popcorn movie.
Yeah, that's definitely
It's not a summer blockbuster, but
it's the best way to put it. Popcorn, just kind of.
it's like a popcorn movie that didn't come out in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Did it come out in the summer?
It says here it was nominated for a Golden Globe. Let's see when it was released. If I can see it here.
Just looking at the movie, I could say it didn't come out in summer, but Released
April
13th.
Yeah.
So right before summer.
Spring, yeah. Spring release there, and that's, I think it went maybe a little bit too early. You know, if you want a big action movie, big blockbuster like this, you have to wait deep into summer when school's out and people actually have time to go see it.
You also can kind of see it in the movie itself. There's little innuendo, little cheesy parts, like at the very beginning of the movie when he's in the car chase.
Yeah.
You can kind of look and see, like, you can see that it's computer graphics behind him. You can see it's not really well detailed, it's not really well edited.
No, but that's kind of what the little bit of the, I wouldn't say charm to it, but maybe the appeal. I just kind of like where it's just big, or what am I trying to say? Not big, but just a lot of visual to it. You know, where it's a visual overload. There's a lot of cool kind of scenes in, you know, it's a popcorn movie pretty much. Going back to that again.
The part I liked personally was the prison inmates. Those were the people that made the movie shine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's let loose the array of characters. So those who don't know, Lockout, it's long story short, military. No, he's a military guy, but a prison in space. And long story short, it's a lockdown. Everything is just in the spaceship is just you can't get in, can't get out. But all the prisoners have waken up from some sort of cryogenic sleep, and they're just running loose and amok in this prison here. You know, they've taken over, pretty much, and it's up to one man, Guy Pearce, to save the president's daughter.
And she's there on like some kind of like street reach crap where she wants to stop the cryogenic freezing.
Well, because she believes the freezing kind of affects the prisoners, their psyche, makes them go crazy, right?
Like doing a 30-year stretch ain't going to affect your psyche.
Yeah, so there's your added feature in there that the prisoners not only are let loose, but some of them are a little bit crazy. So there's the excuse for that one too.
And it's supposed to be the hardest of the hard too, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to be kind of the crazy.
Every one of them from Detroit.
The entire city just put up into space. Yeah. The movie reminded me of actually actually a little bit more. And agree with me or disagree with me if you wanted this, but Escape from New York.
I don't see Escape from New York now. Escape from New York had more. It's more of a slap cheek kind of feel to it. I mean, even like Kurt Russell, he played Snake Plissken more funny than Guy Pearce did. But Guy Pearce did kind of feel like Snake Plissken, where he's trying to crack jokes, he was trying to be a badass.
Yeah.
But he was a little less. He was more warm than Snake Plissken. Mm-hmm. And I don't know.
Well, the characters were there. There's definitely an ensemble of them. You know, you got the military. I keep on saying that, but Guy Pearce definitely playing the badass role, and then the crazy kooky prisoners that are trying to go around and just be kind of off the wall, killers and things like that. A lot of fun stuff happens to it. Like you said before, it's a popcorn movie. I enjoyed it. It's a good way to kind of maybe kill. Was it 2 hours? Hour and a half? I'm sorry.
Hour and a half. Yeah, I'm sort of looking at the poster right here while we're talking. And he's got a scar in the poster. But in
on the
movie,
forehead,
he had an
right?
MP5.
What?
Oh, you're actually talking about the gun.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you about his. Yeah, he gets cut up pretty bad in the movie. It's like, yeah,
of
course he's got a scar.
In the poster, he's got a scar, but in the movie, he carries an MP5.
I can't even explain that to you. Dear whoever wrote this movie, dear James Mather, why would you choose this?
I don't think James Mather does like the marketing. I think the people that do posters is a whole different team than the people that direct it.
Well, you know what I mean. Whoever the hell did this, but either way, I enjoyed the movie, and I think it's actually worth the recommendation to say, hey, go check out Lockout. It's a good little,
It takes a while to get into, to be perfectly honest, though.
A little bit of build up, right? I mean, follow along the story too, of why he has to go there, and the briefcase that he needs to, and
they filled in the plot voids or the boring parts with explosions.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it is. Something that's for the low attention span, and colorful, a lot of action going, a lot of explosions, shooting, stabbing.
Well, just kind of a little spoiler alert. One of the guys gets froze to death in the movie.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend was watching the movie with me, and she goes, "Why did he, when he froze to death then, did he die? And when they froze him to put him in prison, he was still alive?"
Yeah. So far, you've gotten two things pointed out in this movie: the gun on the poster, and then this too. We can keep on going here, man. Let's write this down.
I've only watched it once. I can't say I'm an aficionado in Lockout, but that's just something that I've taken from one viewing.
Yeah. Did you have fun with it? You said that you and your girlfriend enjoyed it.
We did. I mean, she got really into it because she said she loves Irish accents. And
yeah.
And one of the main bad guys had the Irish accent on him.
Yeah, he's what's his name? Heidel, I think is his name.
Heidel, yeah.
Yeah, I know him because he plays on the TV show Misfits. He's a British actor. But anyway, that's a different story. I like this movie, but what other one do we want to talk about? Or did you want to wrap up Lockout?
Lockout's a good movie. I mean, I'm tearing it down, but it's a good sitting. It's a lot better than a lot of the other space movies you'll see on here, because space was actually a hard category for us to do. And the main reason...
Not a whole lot of space ones.
There's not a whole lot of space there, and most of it's junk. Most of it's like Asylum films. Like, if you don't understand what Asylum is, it's like this really low-budget movie company. But they're coming along nicely, but there's a lot of their junk on there, too.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
You get a lot of Transmorphers and shit like that.
Yeah, the rip-offs, the secondary stuff, the sloppy seconds, pretty much.
The cash cow movies, you cash them in because people are unsure about release dates, and they see, isn't that new Transformers movie supposed to come out?
It's Transmorphers. Oh, isn't it the Abraham Lincoln Vampire? No, that's Abraham Lincoln Zombie Killer.
Exactly. Like, remember when the I Am Legend came out? They had I Am Omega.
Yeah. Oh, remember when Snakes on a Plane came out and they had Snakes on a Train?
Which I actually like Snakes on a Train. That was a pretty good one. I remember when I went to rent it. This was back when Movie Gallery was still out.
Right.
I went to a movie gallery and rented Snakes on a Train. And the guy under the counter was like, "You're aware this isn't Snakes on a Plane, right?" I'm like, "No."
It's like, really? I know it is. Give me the movie.
Oh, man. But the next one, oh, man, dude. You should probably introduce the next one. The next one's a legend.
Next one is automatically a classic, man. It's nostalgic in so many ways. It still holds up to this day as just a classic in many people's eyes, just because it's one of those where it's not totally science fiction, it's not totally horror, it's not totally comedy. It's just like all three of those into one, and it makes for just a fun time. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the movie that pretty much inspired Sweet Tooth and the Insane Clown Posse.
And pretty much the genuine fear of clowns for many a youth.
Dude. Those clowns were creepy, dude. They didn't have the Sweet Tooth laugh in that movie. Did you notice that?
Yeah, no, they had a lot of bubbly laughter. It was just more so like the prosthetics that were on it, just because every part of them would move. It's not like just one mask that you would see in a movie. All parts, like the eyebrows and facial parts, would move along with it, too,
I think those monsters look better than the CGI crap we see today.
I would agree, definitely.
I mean, they're creepier looking.
It sticks with you. Yeah, you remember it more. It's real. You can actually see it, and you know that it's not a computer. You can touch it and stuff like that. It's real. It's exactly what it is, and it adds that element to it. I like this movie so much, man. Every part of it.
Who's your favorite character in this movie?
Aside from the clowns?
Aside from the clowns, because the clowns are they kind of have names. Like there's the big one that plays a lot of it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that big one. He was so creepy when he was trying to get a little girl to come out the burger place.
Yeah. I actually like the little guy, man. On the bike, we went up to the biker gangs and knocked the guy's block off.
Yeah, the one that punched the guy's block off. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But as far as actor goes, I got to give it up for John Vernon, man. He plays the sheriff.
John Vernon, isn't that guy? That's Deathstalker, isn't it?
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff, man, and he's that guy. He was in like an Animal House. He played I think the dean in that one, and he's a big '70s actor, big '80s and '70s actor. But
John Vernon wasn't. That's Curtis Mooney.
What are you talking about? No, he played Mooney.
Oh yeah, dude, I love Mooney. Mooney is even though he never leaves the police station.
I'm sorry, I'm going for actor's name here, not character. No, yeah, he didn't stay in one spot. But I like Mooney or John Vernon. He's just a classic guy.
I was telling my girlfriend, like, this guy has such a great voice.
Right. You get the presence about him where he can be comedic, but like the dry, the deadpan, the serious comedy.
But I said Deathstalker. John Allen Nielsen. That's who I remember Deathstalker.
So you're pulling that name out of your hat now. What the? For Deathstalker.
You don't Deathstalker 3, dude. The reason I know Deathstalker 3 is it's a Mystery Science Theater 3000 movie.
And that's classic right there. That's how you know you made it if you made a Mystery Science Theater. Or that's how you know you messed up if you're on Mystery Science Theater 3000.
I don't know if you ever noticed. You've probably never seen the Deathstalker, but he's in Deathstalker and the Warriors from Hell. But John Allen is this small dude. He's the other guy, the other cop in the movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Does he look like a big bodybuilder?
I'm looking at a picture of him now. Not a big bodybuilder, but he looks like, I don't know, he can say himself. I wouldn't say bodybuilder, no.
Well, in that same year he did the movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space. He did Deathstalker. And look at this link right here.
Checking out. He's got a huge rap sheet under his belt. He's in Quantum Leap.
Yeah, but just look at the poster for Deathstalkers and the Warriors of Hell.
Let me take a look at this right here.
The guy in the middle is Deathstalker.
Did he play Deathstalker?
He played Deathstalker.
Dude, this guy's ripped, man.
But he didn't play Deathstalker in the first or second one. He played it only in the third one.
Dude, this guy is competition-style jacked. Right?
He's like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime. And like the guy who did Deathstalker before him was really a big bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And then like number 3 comes along, the motherfucker's lost like 110 pounds.
I'm missing a whole lot if I'm not watching this movie, but...
Dude, Deathstalker and Warriors of Hell is a great movie.
But let's go back to Killer Clowns on Mars, or Killer Clowns from Outer Space. You're a big fan of the theme song, right? You were humming that too.
B.T. Barnum said it so long ago. I actually downloaded it and played it in my truck since then.
Yeah, so it sticks with you, right?
Yeah. It's so addictive. As soon as the music comes on, you know you're in for a good time.
I go through all the crazy deaths that happen in that movie too. That's the big part about that movie is the interesting circus act ways that these clowns are killing people
I love
gathering.
The Shadow Puppet one.
That's the big one, right? The Shadow Puppet one's a big one. We already talked about the biker gang one, the pizza box one.
The pizza box. There's the popcorn one in the trash can and in the clothes bin.
Yeah, and isn't the spaceship like a giant circus tent or something?
It is a giant circus tent. Here's the thing, though. Like, why did they put some in like the candy canes? Well, the cotton candy.
The cotton candy, yeah.
Yeah, and some in balloons.
Yeah, I've always wanted to ask that. I wonder if I can Google that because in the cotton candy, they suck their blood. It's like a cocoon, right? Yeah, they take like the big old silly straw to do that, and it's like the balloons. It's like they're in like a coma almost, like the people inside of the balloons, right? Are they prisoners or? They're
prisoners, but she said she couldn't breathe. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, man, that was a long car chase not to be able to breathe.
Yeah, she was able to stick it out on that balloon, but I don't know what. Maybe that's just their way of just preserving the body, I guess. How did they get them in the balloon? I can see how they did it in the cotton candy. We all know that,
Well, they
shoot him with a gun.
Same thing with her. They shot her with a gun, and it turned into a balloon.
Yeah, I don't know about that. We're gonna have to
I just
ask
thought
him.
about the coolest part of the movie. It happens right at the very beginning too.
Okay.
I love it when the kids run off from the circus tent and they like do a balloon dog.
And and it's on a leash too, right?
Yeah.
This movie's just so good. It's fair warning to anyone watching this too. Don't expect like some scary. I mean, it's supposed to be stupid. It's supposed to be silly.
Comedy mainly.
Yeah, I mean, have fun with it, right? Don't go in here thinking like, oh, you want to watch a scary movie? No, it's not a scary movie. It's have fun with it. It's whatever happened in those movies, man. Just sit down and have fun with it. Make it a drinking game. Make it just have fun with it.
Dude, this movie inspired Insane Clown Posse and Twisted Metal.
All that? Where are you reading this at? This is on the trivia part, or did you know?
You look at the truck.
Yeah, Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth. The clown head on top of the truck. The clown head catches on fire later on in the movie after the one of the clowns beat it up.
Yeah.
And the clown's head's on fire, and then I listened to Insane Clown Posse growing up.
I
don't
still
listen to him anymore, but like they always put excerpts from this movie, and they're like Mooney.
Yeah.
Like he's in almost all their albums.
Yeah. That's right, dude. Yeah. I know ICP, man. I'm from Detroit, so
Yeah.
I don't have to
I
represent
heard they're not
that.
really originally from Detroit.
Oh, no, I heard there. I mean, but if you're, what's weird about the city is that if you're within like a 50-mile radius, then you say you're from Detroit.
Like Kid Rock, he claims Detroit too.
He's Romeo, man. It's like 45 minutes north of it in the boons and the sticks, you know. But whatever. We can talk about that another time.
Let's ask this question: what's 8 Mile like?
It depends on which 8 Mile you go to. You know, it's a big road, but it's busy. I can tell you
So
that
it's kind
right
of like
now.
9th Avenue in Conway. One side's rich white people, one side's poverty stricken.
It's a clear divide. Like on a good day, you could see the clear divide. Maybe not so much anymore, but it's a busy area. It's a busy street.
Can
You know,
you tell it by the buildings that you're going by?
you can tell by the graffiti or lack thereof. So one side, is clean. Like, oh, that one actually has police patrolling that area, and the other side, you got the all the tagged marks off, and the ladies of the evening walking up down and whatever, hooting and hollering about whatever the hell they're selling. Their ass and their booty. I'm not
that blows my mind,
exaggerating.
'cause I come from an area that doesn't have hookers.
Oh,
We have them,
well,
but they're all on like Facebook at this point.
I wouldn't call them hookers. I'd call them more just maybe addicts. That's the best way to turn them. Yeah, you don't have to pay them. You can just give them a crack rock and they'll do whatever the hell you want.
Well, that's the 2 movies for this week. Killer Clowns from Outer Space and Lockout. Two very good movies. I was sort of thinking, what's going to be our theme for next week?
I don't know. It seemed like the first week it was kind of a forest theme, and just like that was kind of a weird theme to start off with. And then we got space movies here. I mean, we could go either way, but maybe we should keep the viewers in suspense here.
All right. So
No.
if you like this movie or if you like the series, always be sure to like it. Check out Samal's channel. I mean, he's one of those guys that do it for the love of doing it.
Just
He
doing
raps
it.
for the love of rapping.
That's right. Talk about movies left and right, too. Not about this. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. You guys are going to love that movie, man. I
Yeah.
hope you do. I really hope you do, because the movie's just so cool.
The cool thing about telling them about this movie is that it's so old that most people probably never heard of it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's coming back in a good way, too. The interest of these comedy horrors and, these gems that
You
are
think
just
Peter
like,
Jackson's
let's
going
find
to do
it.
another comedy horror?
I don't know, man. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he said, you know what, I'm going to do another one, but,
Well, he's got The Hobbit to break into 3 movies at this point.
I want to
Think
see Sam Raimi do another comedy horror. I liked From Hell, or Drag Me to Hell.
I wish they'd do Ghostbusters 3 and get it over with.
I heard they were doing Army of Darkness too.
Bruce Campbell's too old at this point.
He really is to play Ash, isn't he? He can play old Ash instead of evil Ash.
But I'd like to see Ghostbusters before Bill Murray gets too much older and Dan Aykroyd and all them people.
As long as they don't make it CGI, I'll be alright with that.
Well, I could do CGI.
Really, I mean, because they did with the Turtles, they did, live action with that, and then they made the revamp or the.
I
the
want
theatrical.
actual actors, but like if they want a CGI like I don't know, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or something like that coming back, that would be cool.
What if they redid Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
I would see it.
What if they did it with like the mainstream, like James Franco and Seth Rogen and that crew, that buddy comedy crew, kind of doing it? Maybe in
It would make me a little more.
It's got to be beef, though, man.
You know me.
It's gotta
You know
be-
me. I'm a Jim Carrey fan, and I think Jim Carrey fits in almost everything.
Yeah.
I think Jim Carrey should be the sheriff in the Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
That's
remake.
exactly what I was thinking of. It's like, I bet you he wants to play the sheriff.
Yeah. You have Jim Carrey. Who would play Mooney?
Oh my goodness.
Who would
It has
play
to
Mooney?
be. It has to be an old time. You know what? I bet you Bill Murray could do it.
Oh yeah,
No.
he has the face thing too, like the acne scars.
Yeah, the crater face kind of thing. And maybe he's just serious enough to pull it off. That comedic role for it.
See, I was thinking different. I was thinking of bearded Robin Williams.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with that. I can feel that one out. You say a bearded?
Yeah, like a bearded, like, you know, where he's playing the tough guy. You know, Robin Williams, when he put the beard on, he has that tough guy demeanor.
Like what? Like the Scruff beard, or like Goodwill Hunting beard,
Goodwill Hunting beard.
or like Jumanji beard?
Not Jumanji beard. Between Goodwill Hunting and Jumanji, but like
I say cut it down a little bit more, and he'll make a better sheriff. Can't get too wildly.
Yeah, but he needs the beard to cover up because he has a friendly face.
You're right.
But once he has the beard on, he can get to that anger. Like you have him a beard, have him smoke a cigar.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in this town too long. You're playing games with my emotions.
You know what? You're kind of right. I can see that because he played Creep really well, but you know, Creep works better without a beard, right? Insomnia, 1 Hour Photo.
Oh, 1 Hour Photo, man! I forgot all about that movie. Robin Williams is a good actor.
He's a good actor, man.
I watched Jumanji just the other day. I'm like, man, they should have made that sequel Jumanji. It could have made this episode.
You could have made it. Well, Zathura. People think that that's a kind of a sequel to it.
But Jumanji they're supposed to have Jumanji in space.
Zathura.
Does Zathura?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it was with like Dax Shepard, Kristen Stewart, Josh Hutcherson was in it. That's kind of weird that I know that. But yeah, I mean, it still had the same charm as Jumanji, but you know, it wasn't Jumanji.
Yeah, I watched it.
Were they playing a game?
Yeah, no, it's exactly what Jumanji, like, as far as the game was, like, kids find a board game, you know, and they play it and the game comes to life type thing. Same as Jumanji, but Jumanji was just,
I figured they played the exact game of Jumanji. Somebody find it in space.
That's what I want, you know, I want,
Jumanji.
Jumanji. I don't want
back in space.
Yeah, because Van Pelt was awesome.
Van Pelt was a great character.
Yeah. I even liked him in the cartoon series.
Just imagine, like, a herd of elephants in, like, a space hallway or something.
Ooh, a carnival game with killer clowns coming out of it, too. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on Killer Clowns just because I love the movie so much.
Who did the theme song to that?
Look it up, man. I'm trying to find it out. Actually, just as you were singing it, I'm just like, who did the theme song to that?
The Dickies.
They sure did.
Alright, guys, that's Netflix Gold. Let us know, show the love in the comment section. Subscribe, all that good stuff. What's up, everybody? It's the edible, credible, wonderful, lavish, but not too post-dramatic time of the week again. It's Chaos Theories. Always with our host, Mr. Chaos Math.
What's going on, guys? That was a epic intro. Yeah. I like that. Was that edible and credible?
Yeah, edible, credible, wonderful, lavish.
Nice.
So we have the turd cutter connoisseur, you know, Mr. Donkey Punch himself. What are we doing this week?
We're doing the Philadelphia experiment.
Oh yeah, Nancy Allen all day.
This is a really interesting topic. We've covered World War II. We've covered time travel and sort of scientific theories like that. And this is a good one because it sort of combines everything. And, all into one sort of nice package that took place at the very end of World War II. And it involves an experiment or an alleged experiment that the Navy conducted to do research on cloaking.
Cloaking. And how would you basically do cloak? Cloaking would be using Einstein's theory of relativity called the unified field theory. Well, Einstein came up with the idea that big things like suns and stars and black holes put out enough energy to actually bend the light around them instead of light bouncing off of them. So instead of like hitting and reflecting, the light would actually bend and curve. Well, when the light bends and curves, the light behind it would bounce off of that and it would disclose the item underneath. That's why black holes are hard to see.
That's right. So, and the unified field theory would accomplish this with gravity combined with electromagnetism. And so that's what this experiment was about.
So the idea is they put a lot of energy into a ship and see it.
Right. So they would generate this gigantic electromagnetic field around the ship that would bend the light and render the ship invisible. And so that's what they try to do. And keep in mind, this was in October of 1943. So this was, right when shit was really going down in World War II.
Oh yeah.
This is right at the peak of the war when things really started to play out and get crazy and get ugly. And, we talked in another video before about what the Nazis were up to.
With the Bell and the Wonder Waff and all this. And it was October, right? October is when they pretty much did the experiment.
Yes.
This was going into the winter of 43. And lo and behold, we didn't know the Germans were going to be surrendering or going to break, in the summer of 44.
Right.
So this is right there in the thick of things. 'Cause we didn't get into the Germany until 1942 when we actually started fighting the Germans with the English's help.
That's right.
So this is right in the middle. This is, we're in this to win this, let's do this. And the German U-boats had controlled the North Atlantic left and right. I mean, we couldn't get supplies to the British people. We couldn't get food to the British people. We're losing ships left and right. I mean, England was losing ships left and right. And I could see them trying to come up with an answer for this because, just like I said before, when are people going to have interstellar travel? When we need interstellar travel. People don't put money, time, and effort into things like they legitimately should until they need those kind of things. And I feel like cloaking could have been an answer for the German U-boats.
Yeah, it's a very viable product to have some way to get around the U-boats and be able to be out on the ocean, at the time, but when the U-boats were taking everything out, they had a blockade on the UK, right? So, Britain they were just getting starved out and bombed, and nobody could get any supplies to them. Nobody could travel the North Atlantic, like you said. The Germans just owned it. So you can really see why there was a need for that, and why, like you're saying, the Navy would have said, okay, let's fund this and let's research it. Because remember, the Manhattan Project was
$1 billion.
Yeah, right. So there was
this is $1942 billion too. Was that now $10 billion?
Oh, it's easy. It's got to be. I mean, yeah, it was like whatever you need, just do it. Just figure it out. We need this weapon. So it's simple to think that in tandem they were also doing experiments to try to get this done. Let's cloak our ships. Let's create a nuclear bomb. All this stuff was going on. It's sort of really fascinating that you think back to World War II, and all the countries that were involved were just pushing the envelope as far as science goes to just find a way to win the war and come up with a weapon to beat the other side. Oh, yeah. I mean, it was just no holds barred, like whatever it takes. I mean, we're gonna split the atom. We're gonna bend light. It's really
make
cool.
Missiles that can leave the Earth.
Yeah, right. The Germans were working on the rocket technology. It's funny how killing people can spark such
such a revolution in ideas,
right? Like
and the fear of killing people. Like the space race happened just after this.
Oh yeah, sure, and that was right.
That's when we got hold of the V2 technology from World War II, and we ran with it.
And a lot of the space race was just to look better than the other guy. And, we ended up making all these advancements in science, and a lot of it, was just funded around the fear of the Russians looking superior to us. They're like, no, we're America, we're the best at this. So
astronauts are better than cosmonauts.
Right, they're going to put up a Sputnik, and we're going to put, people on the moon, and we had to keep one-upping them. But just get back to this experiment, you can really see how, sure, there's plenty of reasons why they would have done this project. So let's get to the meat of it. So again, what they tried to do was they were going to create an enormous electromagnetic field around a ship, the USS Eldridge, to cloak it, and so that nobody could see it. And why don't you sort of tell people what happened, or what allegedly happened when they did this?
There's two confining stories. Allegedly, what happened when they actually tried to cloak the USS Eldridge was people would kind of mold into the actual size of the ship, the bulkheads of the ship. People would fall like floor levels, like ships are built in floors, like they fall through it because the electromagnetism was so high on the ship itself, it kind of destructured matter, and you could kind of fall through it or become part of it. So when they actually took the shield down, people would have like their arm caught in the wall and things like that. Right.
Yeah, there's apparently some side effects of teleportation too. Like the ship moved. There's two experiments that they did. The first one, what you're talking about, where people got sort of fused into the ship. Apparently they made mistakes, and there was like a sort of a green fog that did cloak the ship, but it didn't really do what they wanted to, which was to make it completely just disappear. And in the process of these miscalculations, people just were like half inside of the ship and going like were mentally damaged and crazy. Some of them just disappeared and were gone. Things went really, really bad.
Well, I also did a little bit more research on the USS Eldridge.
What'd you find?
And it was commissioned August 27th, 2 months before the experiment. It was sold March 26th of 1951.
Oh yeah, who bought it?
Greece.
Really?
Greece bought it, and Greece owned it, and they ended up selling it to a Piraeus-based firm for scrap metal, and they did that in 2000.
Wow, so it just got
ship,
scrapped in 2000.
So the ship got scrapped,
mm-hmm.
and we got rid of that thing quick. We built it. We had the thing maybe 8 years.
Yeah, that's an awfully short time for a ship.
I mean, you put billions of dollars into a ship, you look like you'd keep it for a while.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
Does that seem like a cover-up to you?
This is fishy. It sure is, yeah. Yeah, it's fishy. So the second version of this experiment, they did some tuning or whatever. They changed it, and then they did it again. And the second experiment apparently worked, okay? And not only did this thing disappear, but it teleported. And where did it go? It was like it went for Virginia, right? Went from Philadelphia to Virginia, I think.
I'm not too good. Norfolk,
Virginia, right.
Yeah.
So it teleported into and then went back again. So like it moved 200 miles and it hung around for like, I don't know, 10 minutes or something, and then
didn't the one in Virginia actually have another ship because it teleported beside another U.S. ship?
Right. So people that were on the I don't know how you pronounce it, the Farusith, I think, the Andrew
Farusith.
Yeah, they saw it happen. Like they were on that ship, and then they saw the Eldridge appear in Norfolk, and then it vanished, and people saw it back in Philadelphia.
What would you call that? They created enough power to create a black hole in Earth?
It would be like the
like a wormhole,
the equivalent of a worm.
Stargate?
Right, the equivalent of a wormhole, but 200 miles away, which is weird that it would be, in another body of water. Kind of convenient that it would show up next to a ship. That's a little fishy, I think, isn't it? I guess the second part of the experiment is what seems a little fishy to me. The first part where they fucked up and a bunch of people got messed up, like that sounds extremely possible, and you're damn right the military would have covered that up.
Yeah, that sounds legitimate. It sounds like they
Right.
took some of those big ass engines and generators and
Yeah,
put them to full power and let's see what's going to happen.
Right. I mean, that's essentially how experiments are conducted when you're working on theoretical stuff like this. The thing is, like the unified field theory and what they were trying to do, like there's never been there's no mathematics to back up the idea of doing that, of taking the electromagnetic field and gravity, unifying it and accomplishing an invisible time machine. There's no math that says that. So especially if you're going to go back to, at that time it was just something that Einstein was thinking about, and they were trying to see if it would work. And that's the kind of environment where you do these experiments and you're just sort of throwing a dart at a dartboard and hoping it sticks, and it can get messy and there can be casualties involved. But in the name of, trying to win World War II, those casualties would be certainly justifiable. And
so let's get into the meat and potatoes of chaos theory. Do we think this is plausible? I'm going to say this is 100% fiction. Reason being, here's the real reason.
Give me the real reason.
If you're going to do this, if you're going to basically test a ship and try to cloak it, even in World War II, why would you put men on it?
Well, because why
would you do it with a fully commissioned ship?
You would
Why
want
not to have a test, like 3 or 4 test subjects that have to flip the switch?
Yeah, you'd want to do it with first you'd want to just do it to the ship to see if it worked, and then you would worry about whether people could be on the ship while you did.
And you'd test it with monkeys or dogs or goats.
You'd start out with a much smaller inanimate object, like what, if you're trying to test a theory, there's no need to reproduce the end scenario that you want to achieve, right? So if you're going to conduct an experiment like this, what do? You take a metal can and you try to do that.
You charge the fuck out of it.
Right. You create your electromagnetic field and you cloak the can. If that works, you move up to something bigger
but
so on.
Who's to say they didn't cloak the can?
Right. Maybe they did. Maybe they pulled off the can and they pulled off the car and they pulled off the whatever, and they got to the point where they were doing it and it was working, and for some reason it screwed up on this big of a scale. It's possible. It's possible that they would have tried and fucked up, I guess. That's where I'll draw the line. It's very possible that they did some sort of experiment and they fucked up and a bunch of people died. But
I just don't see like people actually seeing this and thing. Like another thing that kind of threw me for a loop is like everybody that claimed they seen this isn't anybody of actual importance. Like other than this story, they're never heard from again. That's kind of
if anything, on the side of it happening, though. I mean, think about it. If you have people, you would have to have some pretty amazing clearance to be involved in this project, right?
Yes.
Just like with the Manhattan Project. There were a lot of people involved in the Manhattan Project, like thousands and thousands of people. And not only the people that were working at Los Alamos, but the people that were working on centrifuge technology and refining plutonium all across the country. I mean, there were bases everywhere that were working on Manhattan Project material. And that's not to say they knew what they were working on, right? It's on a need-to-know basis, this sort of stuff.
You might be working on a door
but you don't know
into a pod.
Right. They had a job to do, and they were told to do the job. They didn't have all the pieces of the puzzle. They weren't telling them that, we want you guys to work on this centrifuge technology so that we can create plutonium and split the atom and make a giant bomb. Like, hardly anybody knew that detail of it. So if you were going to have information about this to that level of clearance, you certainly wouldn't be the type of person who would then turn around and talk about it. So the only people who would talk would be, people who, low-level people, like the guys who would be on the boat, the sailors, the guinea pigs, that lived through it or knew somebody who lived through it, that sort of thing. So that's kind of consistent, I think. That it would have been leaked from somebody unimportant. But the second part of the experiment is what smells of doo-doo to me.
Yeah, well, as you were talking about it, I was there thinking of what if.
Yeah.
What if we never dropped the atomic bomb? Like, what if we didn't need to use it in World War II and we just had it? And now we have a conspiracy theory of like, we have a bomb that can destroy a city by splitting the atoms in half.
Well, the thing is with that is, everybody was working on this thing.
Yeah, but back in the day, they didn't think it was possible. They were trying to make it possible.
Yeah, I mean, they knew it was possible. And the thing you got to remember with World War II was, espionage. That's, when it seems like,
they didn't know what it would do, though. Like, even when they tested it, they didn't know how big of an explosion it was going to be.
Well, they had
ideas.
Theories, right? So all this comes from Enrico Fermi, and Einstein was involved, and so you had real physicists, real scientists that were involved in it. It was a little bit.
Like you said, Einstein was involved, and like this right here was another Einstein, theory.
Yeah, right. It was related off of these scientific theories of where these guys would say, look, you could possibly do this. And then, the military said, well, let's try to weaponize it, or let's try to use it to our advantage, and let's test it out. So yeah, I mean, with the nukes, they knew it was possible, and they had completed enough experiments to understand that it could be done. But you're right, they had to sort of fine tune it and figure out how to control it and work on the math of, all right, how do we make a bomb? How do we make a bomb that we're going to be able to carry, put on a plane, drop? How do we,
Yeah, but what I was trying to convey with that was like, say we never dropped the bomb. Say we just had it.
Okay.
And we just tested it. And the world never learned about it because we never dropped it on Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Yeah, what I'm saying
I'm saying now is like, no other country knows we have nukes. So Russia wouldn't have invented nukes. Pakistan wouldn't have invented nukes. Japan, I don't think Japan did. But China, North Korea.
I mean, how do you think that the Russians?
If the Russians could have did it, don't you think they would have been running to do it before we did it?
Well, they didn't.
We had the legitimate idea then.
They didn't have the resources. They didn't have the jump on it like we did. We had the best minds, and that's why we got it done. I mean, everybody was. We weren't the only people who were. I mean,
the Germans were working on it,
right? So they knew about. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the scientific community knew that it was possible to split the atom. We just happened to have the right people on our side and the resources to get it done. But like what you're saying is, what if we just held on to it and it was our pocket ace?
I'm just trying to say, like, it could have been a theory, like, oh, there's this bomb that would be split, because.
Yeah, for a while. I guess is the cat would have got out of the bag eventually. Like, if we sort of had to use it before somebody else finished their project. You know what I mean? Like, if we weren't the first ones to use it and be done with it and sort of, have the jump on it and say, well, we already have them. And when we lied about how many we had. After Nagasaki, we didn't have any, and we told them that we have fucking nuclear bombs for days. Like, keep it up. We'll fucking take a city out every weekend if you don't want to give up. But we didn't have any more. We only had 2.
Yeah, we had Fat Man and Little Boy.
That's right. And then we dropped them both, and then we bluffed and we told Japan that we got more, so you better just give up.
Come on, which city? You pick? You
Tokyo.
pick. We'll drop because the Japanese couldn't actually stop the ship.
No,
because the Zeros couldn't fly high enough.
That's right. I think we were like kind of threatening Tokyo at that point. Like, you want to see Tokyo go bye-bye? Keep it up. And they were like, all right, we're done. So
it took a lot of balls because in Japan you don't surrender.
Yeah, it took an atom bomb to make the Japanese surrender. Like, it really.
These are people that would like eat grenades when they thought they were going to lose a battle.
Right. If you go all the way back to the samurai, like, they were not afraid to die. They were just not. It was part of their culture to die and possibly to do it in a very painful manner. So, yeah, it literally took splitting the atom to get them to surrender. No small.
So what do you feel like? Let's round this up.
I feel like it's possible that they did try. Like, I will say, sure, yeah, it's possible that they tried and they hurt a lot of people, but I don't subscribe to the second experiment, like actually teleporting to Norfolk and people seeing it and it disappearing. I think that part is complete bullshit, but I think there really could be something to the first part.
Yeah. Do you think we're ever going to see cloak technology?
Absolutely. I mean, they already sort of have it. There's this stuff called like metamaterial, where they can sort of do something kind of like cloaking, but yes, if we don't, kill ourselves off or, the stuff we've talked about before, I think eventually we'll have very good cloaking technology, yeah.
All right. That's Chaos Theories. That's the Philadelphia Experiment. Let us know what you think about it. As always, check out your boy, Mr. Chaos Math. He's always in the description below. Makes wonderful music. Builds really crappy pyramids.
Thank you very much, Wings. My pleasure to be here.
Peace, people.
See you next time.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Wings of Redemption, and I'm back, and I'm bringing you a great audio commentary. It's been the first one in a while, so if you could go ahead and like that video for me, it helps me out tremendously. Man, I want to talk about games that are going to basically be online the entire lifespan. Obviously, SimCity just launched. SimCity had a horrible experience at launch. Basically, the servers were incapable of supporting everybody they needed. They pulled a Blizzard on us, because Blizzard likes to do this. I remember when Diablo 3 first came out. I mean, I had to wait 6 hours before I could actually play my copy of Diablo 3. And being that is because they didn't put enough servers up. I mean, companies that are, 20 years old at this point, that have been dealing with this kind of stuff over and over again, looks like they would just overcompensate servers for at least the first night, so people that get home and play the game can play the game. Well, companies are cheap, that's what they are. But, so let's look at it on another way. I heard rumor that the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox 720, or whatever the hell it's going to be called, is going to be 100% always connected to the internet. Obviously, they're going to big you up and say, oh, this helps your playing experience, blah, 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 store scats, whatever. But what about people that don't have access to the internet? Is this going to be the death of actual single-player games? I know a lot of people that are just 100% unplugged off the grid. when I mean off the grid, like they don't play multiplayer games. All they do is play single player games, and they want that nostalgic feeling. Like I sometimes desire to play PlayStation 2 games. Hell, I busted out a PlayStation 2 the other day. I didn't play it long. You know why I didn't play it long? Because I have an HD TV and it makes the PlayStation 2 look like dog shit. But I did, however, have that desire. And like I've had that desire enough to think, man, maybe I should go buy an old standard definition TV for $20 to play my PlayStation 2 games. And that's a legitimate thought. But new games, you'll never have this experience. Companies are so worried about losing money. And how much does piracy actually hurt a gaming company? Obviously, if you have something, you want to get paid for it. You don't want to you don't want to make a great idea and then somebody else's video get all the views. I understand that. That's very understandable. But how many people actually steal the goddamn game? Most of it's on PC. I mean, nobody actually steals, Xbox games. Well, they do. I mean, I had a buddy I used to play with all the time that every game he had was like some kind of like port of the game or like some blank disc that he uploaded the game on. But I've only met one person that does that. I'm serious. I'm sure there's more people out there that do things like that, but I've only personally met one person that does it, and it can't be the vast majority. I was hanging out talking with Benjamin from GameStop the other day. He's the manager here at Conway, and we were sitting there talking about how I don't feel like games are going in the right direction. That, if you took every series sequel off the wall, there might be 10 games on the wall because everything's a sequel of something else. But during this period, there was probably 30 people that came in and out that actually bought games. And when they buy those games and they're successful, GameStop buys more games. But how many people actually want to go out and do this? I mean, if you want to actually save money, you got to take out the used game market, because games are kind of like cars. They're almost exactly like cars. They depreciate really quickly. As soon as you take a game out of the box, it's no longer worth $60. It's worth $30. And as soon as 2 months go by, it's worth like $5 to $10. And that's where it pretty much stays in that ballpark, $5 to $10 for a while. So it has almost a 500% depreciation. It's actually worse in cars in that aspect. But when you don't buy the game brand new, the company, console, the developers, they don't make the money either. The only person who makes the money on a used game is GameStop or whoever mom and pop shop that you buy it from. See, game companies sell in bulk. They sell all the new copies at once. They've got their money once it's on the shelves. And if more people buy the game, they make more orders, and the more orders go through, blah, 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 blah. Once it's used, it's somebody else's profit. But this kind of got off topic here. Oh, I don't see online all the time as being that big of a benefit. I think used games are more of a threat to the companies than people pirating their games, because it's a small percentage. A lot of people buy their games mainly because it's easy. I mean, games are one of the things that a lot of people buy in bulk just so they don't have to go to download movies. Like, if I had an option to download a game off Xbox Live or go to the GameStop and buy it, I'd go to the GameStop and buy it. Why? It's a 10-minute drive to go to GameStop and buy it. It's a two-hour affair to download it. I think it's a bad move, and I think it's stupid. What do you guys think?